we'll be having a discussion now. I would request Athar to kindly continue the discussion part now.
Yes, sir. The students are already there ready. Ayushi is going to introduce the discussion as well. So with your permission, can we begin with the group discussion?
Yes, sure. And since I will also be a part of it, so in between, if I feel a question has to be raised on, I will definitely raise it, and I would love your answers for this. Okay.
Sure.
Sure. So,
Okay, Ayushi, we can begin with the group discussion.
Yes, sir. Hello, good evening, and welcome back to the session. Good evening, the special guest, Director of Let's Speak, Pranav sir, Admin of Let's Speak, Athava sir, all the respected mentors and students. So, my name is Ayushi Kulkarni, and we are going to perform a group discussion in front of you all. So, the topic for the group discussion is should death penalties be abolished? So basically, I would like to first introduce all about the topic. So what are death penalties? So death penalties are also known as capital penalties, which is given by the government to a person who commits crime or who does such actions which are not safe for the people living around them or that area, place, or state. Crimes like murder. If I keep my point on this topic, so I think that death penalty should not be abolished because the criminals who commit crimes like terrorism, murder, rape, so the confidence in them will be built up more, and they will not fear at all before committing any crime, even though they have a little bit of fear before committing it. Even that will be removed from their life, and they will be free. They will be a free bird to commit crimes more and more, and the crime rate will be increased in that particular country. So I think that death penalty should not be abolished. Yeah, this was all from my side. Thank you.
Okay. Good evening to all. My name is Akshada Pindarkar, and yes, I'm agree with because if we want or creating the law-abiding society, the capital punishment means death penalty should be there, and uh, yes, capital punishment it's creates the sense of fear among these criminals. If someone wants to commit the crime, but if terrorists and rapists are subjected to death penalty, they may hesitate to commit this crime. So a death penalty is necessary in our country because for the safety of wider population in our country, the repeat offenders and those who commits the crime should definitely put to the death, because if if like they are completely dangerous to our the innocent peoples and for our society. And we can say if death penalty we can say if uh, we nowadays we see there are high-handed peoples. High-handed means they have powers, like they have background, politician background, or they have a power of money, so they get rid of this punishment, or they are safe from this all punishment. So we should not give them second chance. So that penalty should be there, is it my opinion.
Okay. So I would like to add some point, as Ayushi said, death penalty should not be abolished, because there are some major crimes which don't need any kind of investigation, because the crime already described the person's work, that what kind of the brutal work he has done and he has offended the laws, which are not meant to be offended by someone. So everybody should, and even there are some minor crimes. I think instead of giving them death penalty, we can also give life imprisonment, which is because nobody has a right to take someone's life, and if any it should they should also get the chance to prove because there are some crimes which also need investigation and a lot of research to find the exact evidence that whether he has done this crime or not. So that's all from my side.
Yes, Kunal.
Thank you very much, Akshada, Anushka, and Chunilan, for your opinion on this topic. But however, I would like to add some major points or major reasons for abolishing the capital punishment. I would like to tell you that I disagree with the capital punishment, and I think it should be abolished because over 70% of the countries in the world have already been abolished the death penalty, and the United States is the only nation that is still against the capital punishment and standing against the other democracies which use the methods like firing squad, hanging, electric chair, and the lethal injections. However, over the past years, Americans' view on of the death penalty has totally shifted. According to the Gallup poll, 60% of participants believe that life in prison without a payroll is a better punishment than death. So these are the my reasons why I disagree with capital punishment.
Right. Anushka.
Hello everyone, myself Anushka Abhishek. I think the death penalty should be abolished. The reason to abolish the death penalty is it's inhuman. It's inhuman. Okay. The Convention Against Torture and Other Cruel or Inhuman Treatment or Punishment is meant to prevent action considered inhuman. As Kunal said, they use lethal injections. The lethal injections has the highest rate of error. Knowing these things, this is the most common option used in the death penalty. When these injections goes wrong, it can take a long time for a criminal to die. Some exams after death shows serious chemical burns and other some injuries in the criminals or victim's body. This was all from my side.
Okay. Now let me put up a question here before we go further. Now, there is a question, it should be abolished or not, right? Now, the point is that even if the capital punishment is there, is the law in our country really taking, don't you think it's taking so much of time to actually punish the offenders and the criminals? What do you think, Junior? What do you think about this? Now, do you think that the law in our country is giving them so much of opportunity that that it takes around 5 years, 7 years, sometimes 10 years? What do you think about this point?
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, it takes much time to find to do the investigation. But I think the law should be implemented in a fast rate so that the crime that anybody has done. Because sometimes there are the criminals who has done a brutal kind of work and they are still suffering like a normal human being in the prison, or whether they are in the police are not treating them
I'm sorry to interrupt, Sunil. Sorry to interrupt. Do you think that life in prison is simple? Is it easy? You just mentioned that.
Yes, because they should because there are some crimes the people do just for the sake of money, but the main culprit who is behind that, we are not finding that. Sometimes that kind of cases are also there. So in order to find the main culprit, who is the main mastermind of this crime, we should also put the investigation in a more we should also put more restriction. We should also put more strict way to find that kind of information, that where the crime is coming from.
Okay, so you mean to say that there is certain loopholes in the administrative part as well, from where the crime is investigated. There is certain loopholes. You never know the person who is actually committed the crime is not being punished. Do you think in this part as well? Or do you think does this happen as well? I'm talking in terms
Yes,
of
there.
investigation. Yeah. Okay, let me ask
Yes,
this
yes.
question to Kunal.
There.
Now, Kunal is in the favor
Okay,
of,
sorry.
of the topic that it should not be, it should, I think it should not be abolished, right? That's what you said, right?
Yeah, it should be
Yes.
abolished.
Okay, it should be abolished. Okay, sorry, it should be abolished. Now, your point says, do you take this reference that a person in our country commits a crime, a heinous crime, and he gets two punishment. He stays in the jail for 10 years. It's almost like a life imprisonment, and then he
Yeah.
is hanged till death. So there's a double punishment for him. Why is it? Do you think this is the right way to put this one, or this is the reason? What do you think?
Yes, sir. Because well, I think life in a prison. Well, see, there are. I mean, I have a example that in the Supreme Court, there was a in June 2000 to till June 2015, the Supreme Court death a 16 death sentences in between 1 January 2000 to June 3, 2015. Then afterward, they admitted that it has erred in 15 of them. So this kind of things always happens there, and it's like undone when actually evidence revealed.
Okay.
It's like a undone thing. I mean,
Okay.
see the person who is there who didn't do any crime.
Hmm.
So like he almost get lost
Loses
his
his life.
entire life.
Yeah, loses his life. Loses his life.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I'll come to Akshata now for the points now. Please, Akshata. I'll come back. I'll come back with a new point. I have got one point here. Let Akshata complete this part. Yes, please go ahead, Akshata.
Yes, sir.
Yes, kindly put your points, Akshata. What do you think exactly? Should we go ahead with abolishing this punishment, or should we not?
Yes, sir. It should not. Means my opinion is death penalty should be there
Hmm.
because for the safety of our nations. Okay, let's see. If there is a criminal is terrorist, so Chunilal said the life imprisonment is an option or it's a second chance to leave to leave to them. But is it like is it enough punishment to terrorists who killed our innocent people, who destroy our nations, like completely spoil our management, destroy our peace? So I think for the specific terrorist, or like a specific criminal like a terrorist, and for the rapist, the death penalty should be there for them. And because it is only way to ensure that it should not be repeated and it should not be rewarded in our nation. So it's my opinion.
Okay, I'll come back to the Delhi case here. Okay, I would request Ayush's take on the Delhi case. Now, there was a rape case, it's a famous case in our country. You guys all know it. Now, it took several years for law to punish them, and they had several loopholes. And it took them. I'm not sure exactly the year. It was more than 10 years, I think. It took them to get the capital punishment or the punishment they actually deserved. What do you think, Ayushi? Don't you think that it was very late for them to get this? Although
Um, yes, sir. In this case, we can say that it's the human who support them, because there are some political person behind them who, they commit the crime and they are sure that this person is gonna help me to get out of this punishment or get out of the jail, even if I get life imprisonment. So I think the law, that the death penalties should be made more stronger. And the if you're talking about a rape case nowadays, rapists are all free, that they know that even they rape, they will come back home and they can again do it, because of the case, Nirbhaya case. We all know how much time it took and everything. So in this, like in this perspective, the law should be made more stronger. And as we know, we are the one who will make it more stronger and should and make it more on time, that it should be implemented on time and it should not be too late before that same person commit another crime.
Before the person commits another crime, or maybe
Yeah.
he just gets scot free because of lack of evidence. That's what I just put this question initially when Chunila was speaking. Do you think, Anushka, that somewhere the investigating team at the time of the crime does not give their 100% honestly? Maybe the person who is getting the capital punishment is not the right culprit for the punishment. What's your take on this one, Anushka? What do you think?
Sorry, sir, your question.
Okay, my question is that do you think that in our country, the investigating team who investigates the crime at the first place, the problem starts from there? Maybe they're not catching the right person and putting them into the jail. What do you think? Isn't it right or wrong? What's your take on this one?
Yes, I think most of the times this happens means police or the investigation teams are with the politicians.
Influence, yeah. Political influence, you mean, right?
They are with them, so they give them money to the means political parties give them money, and they close the cases. Most of the times this happens.
Okay.
So
And we have seen it in the media. It keeps coming, these kind of news, that there are certain political influence was there, and some of them is scot free, and some of the person who got actually punished were not the right culprit. Junira, would you like to elaborate this point a little bit more? I just want some of your more comment on this one.
Yes, sir. I agree with your point that there are some certain loopholes in the laws. That's why they are taking the advantage of these loopholes. Because they don't have the fear of the law, they don't have the fear of doing this kind of crime. So if they don't have the fear, and they are making the other people too afraid of them, just because they have some political contacts and they have some political abuse powers behind them, who is the man, maybe they are the man mastermind of that plan or maybe crime. So the law should be strict. The research, the investigation they are going to do, who is the main reason, who is the main person behind it, the law should be the law should be implemented in a fast rate, so that, and the law should be more stronger. It's not just about that somebody has some political because if I talk about the scams or the scandals, there are the stock share stock scandals are over there, and there are a lot of political reputed politicians were also involved in there, and they were not put into the custody.
Okay.
And even if you knew that they all are involved in that scandal or a crime.
Yeah, but
Yes,
yet.
we can't even strongly put the allegation towards them, because they are going to maybe change the law statement, or maybe they are going to do something just because they are going to simply say that I didn't do the crime, someone has done the crime. So put because the laws they are made, they are breaking these kind of laws, and
Okay.
sometimes so that's why they are taking these kind of advantage, I think.
Yes, Kunal, you wanted to say something. Yes, please go ahead, Kunal.
Yes, sir. Actually, I would like to recognize the one point which is I hope every Indian knows about the 11/26 attack that is happened by Pakistan. The main person was the Ajmal Kasab was there. Everyone knows the what he did. He almost we can
Hundreds
say
of people,
hundreds of people, yeah. And after that everyone knows that how much time it took to get his death penalty. So I mean, on this point I'm totally disagree with this death penalty abolishing, but on the terrorist and terrorism, but I would I would like to go with the death penalty, because the only thing that I wanted to mention here, that there should be a fast track court kind of a thing should be there, so that it will not take 10 years or 5 years or 8 years to get the terrorist death penalty.
Yeah.
So
why,
that was
why,
the
yeah, why does it take? Why does it take? Because there's so many places these people can apply. Say for an example, that the High Court have sentenced him death. Then he goes to the Supreme Court, and the matters lingers and lingers and lingers in Supreme Court because there's already hundreds of cases in queue. Don't you think that the number of judges, those who are looking into these matters, are very less? They require more judges to be appointed for these kind of cases, or maybe a separate court altogether for these kind of heinous crimes. What do you think?
well, I thought, sir, see, apart from the rest of the cases, the terrorism case is the super first priority. I think there should be each and every Indian or each and every judge, they should be opposed with that case. I mean, I still didn't know that why they
Took so much of time.
too much formalities. Yeah.
They
They
said
do
that
too much formalities, and
yeah.
they give each and every facilities to terrorists, and he said, I need a biryani, I this and all. So these things happen, and after that he get hanged. So I don't know what was
the idea behind it. They said
Yes, sir.
that they were trying to take out information. You were taking information for 10 long years. What all
Yeah.
information did you actually take? You already knew he's from Pakistan. You could not do anything. Why did you waste so much of Indian money? This is our
And
money,
he
right? It's
already-
the taxpayers' money, man. Come on.
Yes.
And already
Right.
he gave as much as possible information, whatever he has.
Yeah, it already.
So-
He's a kid, man. Come on. He's 17, 18 years old. What information can he have? Right? He is simply a kind of a mujahideen who's there to just give away his life. What information he could have in 18 years?
And it took almost 7 to 8 years to get the name, the person who is sent him here in India,
India.
or specifically in Mumbai.
That's what. That's what. So what I'm getting from here, Akshara will I would like your point on this one. Now that means that there should be a certain punishment, of course. Some strict punishment should definitely be there, but it should not be so much delayed. When, like, a person has already, committed certain crimes, even the Supreme Court agrees. Then there is another way, these people can linger this process by applying their mercy petition to the president. Now, what do you think? Do you think it is a necessary step since Supreme
Yes.
Court has the supreme power to decide, right? That's what the lawmakers are. Yeah, Akshata.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. In the terrorism topic, they should have speedy trials adopted, because of already the judicial system of our country these days are not quick enough. So even their number of pending files and number of cases are very, very high. Still they working like there is no speedy trials in specific topic also, like terrorism, like Ajmal Kasab also was for 8 years in our country. Even he killed so many people, and he got red-handed. He got red-handed in our country. Still he stay very well in you can say, yes, he stay very well in our prison. So yes, it is not okay with our judicial system, and our Supreme Court should be take a speedy trials, and it should be adopted for the terrorism.
Okay, especially in the act of terrorism, you mean to say? Yes.
Especially in terrorism.
Okay, fine. Now, as we have the discussion for around 20 minutes, so I would like to have the final verdict real quick in 1 minute's time, starting with you, Tineva, please. Start with your summing up the point in 1 minute, please.
Okay, so I would like to conclude all the point that death penalty and life imprisonment, there should be both punishment should be there, and law should be equal for each and everyone. whether he is a businessman, whether he is a rich politician or some kind of rich businessman, and it should be equal for each and everyone, and the law should be put in a stronger way so that no, any criminal who has done the crime, whether it is a brutal, whether it is a not that much brutal, but the law should be equal for that, and they should implement in a strong way.
Thank you very
So
much.
that
Thanks,
we
sir.
don't.
Thanks very much. Ayushi, please be a constraint of time kindly. We have 9 minutes remaining, Ayushi. Let's your quick take on the last take on this point. Yeah.
Yes, I would conclude that it should not be abolished as I'm on that point from the start. The only thing we can do is we can make the law or that the penalty should be more stronger.
Mhm.
And if we caught a criminal red-handed, then he or she should be he or she should get punishment on point on that particular time on the spot. Like we have examples like encounter. So if police or cops caught him on point, so they
You
can do this. But
you believe
there
in
are
encounters, sir? Without the trial, Ayushi, why without the trial? All right, thanks very much. Kunal, coming
so,
to
but we don't.
you. I'll come back to you. Kunal, yes. Yes, fast.
Yes,
And Kunal, Akshata, you want to say? Come on, you have 1
Yeah,
minute.
yes.
Akshata. Yeah, quick, everyone.
yes.
Yeah.
To conclude, yes, there is no doubt many nations other nations who have opposed to death penalty, like European nations who believed the concept of life, and they stopped the death penalty in their nations. Portugal, who's the first one who stopped the death penalty. So yes, death penalty is not a completely punishment to this type of criminals, for terrorists and rapists. But if we give them second chance, and still he want to rule their mind in their activities only. So this is not safe for our country. So
Okay. It's not safe for our country. Yeah.
yes, it could be left to law and judicial system. Is it mandatory, death penalty should be there or not?
All right.
Or
Okay,
should be
Akshata. Okay, Akshata. All right. All right. Running out of time. Kunal, final
Thank you.
Yes,
fast. Yes. Thank you very much.
yes, sir.
Yes,
Sir,
Kunal.
the death penalty, I know that death penalty should be there, but the death penalty has not deterred the terrorism, the murder, or the thief.
Mhm.
Okay, the people without capital are punished. On legal aid, poor prisoners cannot afford good attorneys,
Okay.
and
Okay.
as and as a result, the poor prisoners are unfairly targeted by the death penalty.
Absolutely. Very nice. Very nice point.
Yeah.
I wish I had more time to discuss on this one.
Okay, so I think the death penalty should be abolished, because what happens sometimes what happens, they hang the innocent people, and they get evidence later that the person is innocent. So
Okay.
I think it's not the way to. We should act with victims with the, what we can say for that, with the
So you mean
respect
with the
and
respect and mercy? You mean to say that, right? Okay. Yeah. Right. Okay. Thanks. Thanks very much. Jugal sir. If you could please.
Sir, it was a wonderful topic. I had lot. I am having so much to
Speak
speak on
over.
it.
I know
Definitely
that.
speak on.
I was just thinking this, while we were discussing, I knew that Jugal sir must be itching to say certain things on this one. Yes, sir.
Kunal, what's the final word? What I liked about his last point is that he wrapped it up very well.
Yes.
That obviously death penalty has not solved the problem.
Correct.
I won't take much time. Just give me 1.5 minutes.
Yeah, sure,
To
sure.
be precise.
Yes.
2-3 points I would love to mention. That first thing, I feel death penalty should be there.
Mhm.
A judicial system, how to improve the judicial system is a secondary topic.
Mhm.
There should be a good policy. Our constitution is very good. I would like to answer your point that why they are giving so much opportunities. If death penalty is awarded, then how you will be asking to Supreme Court, then plea or mercy petition with president. It's a good policy. It is not being executed properly. That's a secondary thing.
Mhm.
If you have made a good rule, it's not, because you so many were talking about European countries.
Mhm.
European countries are not facing with our problems like terrorism and kind of thing.
Mhm.
They have seen, but they are not affected by terrorism in such a manner the way the India is affected, basically. Number two, I feel death penalty should be there. It shouldn't be abolished. The reason I would like to give a basic example. For example, a manufacturing company, iPhone, Apple company, who's manufacturing iPhone. While manufacturing iPhone, they're putting lots of efforts in making it a good product, but they are also making a provision that in case if there is a defective product, they will give you a warranty.
Mhm.
So like that, I feel it's not about that warranty is a death penalty.
Mhm.
Your system, your society should change. Like
Definitely.
rapist, like criminal activities. I feel it starts from the education. You
Absolutely.
need to teach student. You need to teach your society. You need to make an environment that these are the bad things. These are the crime. This is a responsibility of government. This is a responsibility of your religion. Religion is also playing a very important role in this case.
Absolutely.
So you teach to the population their morals. This is not going to be achieved in a couple of years. It's a plan of 40 to 50 years down the line. So you need to train your population properly. You need to teach them good values from the bottom. After that teaching also, if someone is doing any kind of wrong thing, then there should be the penalty.
Absolutely. Thank
So I
you.
feel it's a complete system for it. Secondly, about Kasab and the Hafiz Saeed and again point, I would like to mention one thing that I feel you should trust your agencies first. Because when it comes to patriotism, we get agitated. That okay, he was eating biryani, it took 8 years. It's okay. It's their job. They're trying to do. We don't know. Everything is not shared with us. It's what media is sharing with us. We don't know what's behind the scene. So I feel we need to keep a trust on our agencies for doing their work the way they want to do. Last thing I would like to mention that talking about the various things that is all about this terrorism and rapist vagera things, I would like to mention one basic thing that our constitution is framed very well. It is not executed properly. So I feel the problem is not in the laws. The problem is in the way of execution. That is improved. Problem will be solved. And last thing, talking about death penalty, in last 40 years, I may be wrong, I don't know, but whatever my knowledge of research is that there are more than 5 instances where death penalty is actually executed. There are many cases where death penalty is awarded. They're talking about Ajmal Kasab, Nirbhaya case, 4 to 5 convicts. Then talking about Memon from Gujarat. The Memon, he was a chartered accountant. He was executed. And before that, I guess one of the 4 to 5 only death penalties are executed actually in India since 1960s or 55 and 65 somewhere. So I think death penalty should be there. We are not executing it that rigidly. We are not giving hanging till that to every odd people. So it should be there. I don't feel any problem is there.
So, thank you. Thank you, sir, for your precious time. I'm running out of time. We have 30.
Takes a time, definitely. I am of the opinion that it should not be abolished at all.
Okay.
It should not be abolished, but it takes time because real criminal has to be pointed out first.
Correct.
It should be proved by all the means. Then until he is hanged, So there are some practical difficulties also.
Okay.
When right from beginning of the case. Till hanging, there are many practical difficulties are there, and those difficulties are making the system delayed. So seriousness of the offense is also considered. How grave this offense is.
Correct, sir.
It is considered. It is considered twice, thrice, or many times. That's why it becomes late. After effects are also one has to consider, state has to consider, politicians has to consider, government has to consider, because some interstate relations are considered.
Absolutely.
They are very important, interstate relations, because just hanging does not solve the problem. It solves the problem of that incident only, because the recurring incidents are again there. So interstate relations, to maintain the interstate relations, some delay is there, or cancellation is there, or hanging is there. So interstate relations are mattering for delaying the systems. Some religious aspects are also there.
Right, sir.
So in the total world, when some religious, a particular religion person is hanged.
Yes, there's a biasness in the society that.
And it affects the integrity of the total nation. Sometimes.
Absolutely it does.
And sometimes, when it is very important that was the instinct of killing was there when he committed the offense.
Absolutely.
And that instinct cannot be maintained at all the time. And
Correct.
again,
We cannot judge a person by that particular one instance, right, sir?
because sometimes we beat our student or for sons, for example, son or daughter. It is that instinct we are irritated. Why irritated? What caused us?
Yes.
They are
So-
different things. The instinct is important, but we are not that bad, no?
That's true, sir. A person cannot be bad throughout the life. He just
Yeah.
that for that just one moment he lost his temper and he did something psychologically affected, you know. So we cannot judge a person like this. That's
So
true.
that instinct of killing is also considered.
Mm-hmm.
Religious aspects are considered, interstate relations are considered,
Right.
and I have given some 6-7 reasons why the
Sure.
system becomes late. You know, the
Mhm.
crimes are again the one more reason is there. Crimes are more and system is short.
Yeah.
Our system is very short,
True, sir. True, sir.
and crimes are increasing like anything.
Every day, yeah. We don't have there is an appointment of I don't know how the huge number
Yeah,
of judges which is required in our country.
So, in spite
Yeah.
of these 6-7 reasons why the system is delayed, system system takes a time to decide final hanging or penalty to death. Again, one more important factor is there that government always considers or judicial is always taken care of. Innocent should not be punished at all.
Absolutely,
At any cost.
absolutely. Yes, sir.
Because after hanging, if somebody proves that he was innocent,
Then what? How you can't give the life back to the man?
yeah, then it becomes difficult. So the
Yeah.
judiciary takes time to prove that he's innocent or what.
Okay. The law gives him a fair chance to fight his
Yeah.
case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so law is always
Mhm.
take care that innocent should not be punished in any cost.
Mm-hmm.
But if criminal is not punished, it's well.
It's not. It's
But
not. It's
innocent should not be
that's
punished.
yeah. Even that is not acceptable, right, sir? I
So
mean.
considering all these things, it makes time. It takes time.
Mhm.
But anyway, considering all these things, but death penalty should not be abolished.
Should
at all.
not be abolished. Should not be abolished. Yes. Thank you, sir.
5 seconds more. Thank you very much for all of you for participating today. I'm really thankful to all of you for participating, and I hope you all had a good time. We are running short of time. So good night, everyone. Take care. All of you. I'll see you guys soon.
Please subscribe our channel and hit the bell icon for more interesting and learning updates.